Hi, I'm Susan from BakeWithMom.com. Today we're going to make a beef quinoa soup. I'm starting with a tablespoon of coriander, 2 teaspoons of dry mustard, 2 teaspoons of dill weed, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm going to mix these all together. Normally you would use a pound of meat that hasn't been cooked, but I had some leftover rib roast that I wanted to use, so I'm going to use that today. The seasoning won't stick quite as well as it would if this meat were not cooked, but it still will coat the meat enough so that we can have a nice tasty soup. I'm going to turn my burner on. I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil in there. Now, since I don't have to brown my meat, I'm just going to start warming up the meat with the seasonings. I'm going to add about a tablespoon more of olive oil. And now I'm going to add 1 cup of onion and a tablespoon of minced garlic. We're going to cook this until the onion gets a little on the transparent side. You'll see the brown bits on the pan. We're going to deglaze those brown bits with some brandy. I've got a 1/4 cup of brandy here. We just want to get those brown bits because they add good flavor to our soup. Now I'm going to add 4 cups of beef broth. We're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to turn our fire down to medium and let it simmer for 15 minutes. We're going to turn it down to medium now for 15 minutes. I've washed an orange and I'm going to zest a tablespoon to use as a garnish on top of our soup when we're done. This will just be a garnish for our soup. Now I'm going to cut the orange in half because we need a 1/4 cup of fresh orange juice at the very end for our soup. I have 2 cups of diced potatoes that I'm putting in. At the same time, I'm putting in a 1/4 cup of quinoa because they cook at the same amount of time. And we're going to let them simmer for 15 minutes. To the pot, I'm going to add a 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes with their juice. I have 1 cup of frozen peas that have been thawed, and our 1/4 cup of fresh squeezed orange juice. We're going to let this warm up for about a minute, and then we're going to taste it and see if it needs any more salt and pepper before we serve it. Enjoy your beef and quinoa.